I'm like, if you don't stop with these fucking crocodile tears, oh shit, that's why it's named Crocodile. Hello and welcome to another episode of Coming Distractions, brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Micah, joined by my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
And today we are here to discuss and review Black Mirror Season 4.
Yeah.
Look, Black Mirror's back. For those of you uninitiated, Black Mirror is like, what if the Twilight Zone and Google had a baby?
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, and
it's all about technology, and it's really terrible stories.
Yeah. What did you think of the season overall?
Overall, it was a pretty solid season. I still think season 3 may be a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I finished episode 3 of season 3, which was the one with the spider.
2.
No, I didn't finish it.
I did finish it.
Yeah, he didn't. Jay's in the background. He did not complete that episode either.
I finished it. And
well, you don't have a big issue with spiders.
No, but I got a big issue with someone who lives.
Oh, so you watched it by yourself?
Yeah, I watched it by myself.
But I think it's tough, man. The season was really good. There was one, like episode 2, it's kind of like iffy about.
Really?
Yeah, episode 3 with the end was like, whoa, okay. But episode 3, everyone that's seen the season knows episode 3 is just foul.
Yeah, it stank.
it was just good Lord. Episode 4, I really liked episode 4.
Yeah, you needed to.
I needed to. What?
You needed to like it after episode 3.
Yeah, it was a palate cleanser after episode 3. Episode 5. It was like 25 minutes. It was weird. And like the ending to that episode, I'm like, really? Yeah. I like the whole black and white aesthetic. That was fine. Yeah. Episode 6, I finished that last night. I was like, oh my God. that was a great way to end the season.
It was. So
episode 1 was really good. My girl, Michaela Cole, was in there. I noticed her from jump. She's fine, yeah.
So, overall, I think
I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 overall.
Overall, I think I kind of agree with you. We're gonna briefly give our rundown of each individual episode, but overall, I think this was a pretty solid season. Black Mirror seems to do this thing now where it leads with strength and then kind of slows up, somewhere in the middle, but then they tend to bring it home in the end.
Yeah. And
that's exactly what this season did. This season led with USS Callister, and hit a home run with that episode, and then maybe hit a triple with Black Museum, and everything else just kind of run the gamut.
Right.
Let's talk about USS Callister. This one stars Jesse Plemons, aka Fat Damon, Kristen Milotti, Jimmy Simpson, and like you said, Michaela Cole. What did you think of this episode overall? We're going to try not to do too many spoilers, but what did you think of this episode? What, likes, dislikes, and your overall feeling of it?
No spoilers. Well, this is not necessarily a spoiler. In the beginning, you kind of feel bad for Fat Damon, and then then that twist comes, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't know. I just wasn't my favorite episode of the season. This seems to be everyone's favorite episode, like because Star Trek.
It's fucking nerds.
Yeah. It's Star Trek and whatnot. It's fine. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I thought the ending, I was just kind of like, the hell? Like, okay. It was cool, but it just wasn't really my thing. I didn't. It's a good episode, directed well, acting as well. Was fine. Michaela Cole was fine. She's not wearing that crazy makeup that she does in Chewing Gum.
Yeah, she looks a whole lot better.
She
wearing
really
that,
does.
that weird makeup. Look, I thought this was the standout. As a mild Star Trek fan, I was tickled by the motif The production values were off the hook.
It was really good. Like the production value was excellent, but Star Trek is just not my thing.
I mean, it was almost like a mini movie. And
it was an hour and a half.
Yeah, okay. it was a movie. And I found the characters to be incredibly interesting. I found the meta commentary of, you know, a certain type of nerd. The commentary on that type of nerd I found to be poignant because, you know, we play online games and there are a certain class of individual who wouldn't dare say something to you to your face, but would do that to you in online with the anonymity factor and all that.
Yeah.
They even hammer it home at the end.
That was funny.
That was very funny. This was my favorite episode of the season. And I really dug it. If you only see one episode of Black Mirror this season, watch this one. Next up is Archangel, starring Rosemary DeWitt and Brenna Harding. And this was directed by Jodie Foster.
Yeah. Don't look, yo. This is not a spoiler. Don't peek in on your kids' lives, yo. You're not gonna like what you see.
My wife,
you're just not like. Before you continue, there are things that I have kept from my mother. I just now am willing to admit from my childhood. Like, no, if she, nah, man. Like, it was a good episode. It was wild. The ending was wild. It was a solid episode, but like I said, don't. Your kids are doing shit you don't want to see. They just are. Sorry. that had to be the lesson for this one.
My wife said that the theme of this season is don't let anybody stick anything in you.
Honestly,
every story, somebody had something stuck in them, and it didn't work out.
Well,
I really like this episode. This is probably my third favorite episode, third or fourth. I haven't decided yet, because out of all the episodes, this one seems the most plausible.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
The commentary on helicopter parenting and Big Brother watching you, so to speak, and just like be a parent. How about you parent your child? How about you don't just how about you take responsibility? You know what I mean? Look, I thought this was the perfect episode of Black Mirror in terms of like realism and like a screwed up twist from something that could easily happen. I really enjoyed it. Next one.
Yeah, Crocodile.
What did you think about Crocodile?
Look. How far are we into this episode? This episode can go fuck itself. It really can. Like, I'm sorry, look, it was just wrong, dude. And the thing about it was like, I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, this is just like, Jesus, dude, like, come on. But the ending was what really drove it home. I'm like, you know what? No, that's unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable. And they call it crocodile. She's like crying, crocodile tears. And I think they say crocodiles will do whatever it takes to survive.
Huh.
Even kill their own kind.
Huh.
Whatever it takes. So.
Well. Yeah. That certainly did happen.
Yeah.
This episode was just like.
It was just mean.
Yeah, it was mean.
Like that's what I took from it. I was watching it, and then when that episode went off, I'm like, I can't watch anymore because I don't know what you're gonna do next.
Right.
So I stopped watching for the night, and then I picked it up the next day. I wasn't I was not a fan.
Now, one thing I did love about this episode is it was shot in Reykjavik, Iceland, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, there were the scenes where they were driving.
Yeah,
those were very.
It was.
Beautiful scenes.
It like the cinematography in it is great, and it's surrounded by all this like meanness. Like it was just like geez, man, like really, and I really, it got to the point where I really wanted to see what would happen before, after they cut the black. I needed that. I needed that to like soothe my soul. You know what I mean? It's this one is probably, out of the 6 episodes, this one is probably ranked number 5 for me, just because it's so mean.
Yeah,
just an asshole of an episode, man. Next episode is Hang the DJ.
Yeah, when that episode title popped up, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Come on, yo.
After what you just watched,
right? Like, really? This is how you're gonna continue the? Okay, fine, whatever. But then you watch it, I'm like,
yeah,
that's adorable.
This is people are equating this to the San Junipero.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. And this is trying
it's basically the same thing. Almost.
This is trying to be that uplifting episode of Black Mirror. This episode stars Georgina Campbell and Joe Cole. Look, this me and my wife, we watched this together, and we took to this because we met on a dating site, and we like to pretend that this is what Match.com's algorithm was in order to bring us together.
I think this is actually my favorite episode of the season. I don't know, but
really?
Maybe, yeah. Honestly, this is probably my favorite.
Look at you, old softy.
I'm a sap. It is what it is. Under this hard exterior lies someone that cares for people. Anyway, no, I think this honestly was my favorite. Maybe because it was right after episode 3, but I just like the story.
Yeah,
like it was just a nice story.
Yeah,
very interesting at the way it ended. But that the ending is what made me like, you know what, I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah,
acting was fine, and they just look like they played off of it. The chemistry was really good with each other.
The chemistry between those two is immaculate. And you know me, it's it's usually the other way around. What I like to see.
Yeah, but no, this was a very I really like this episode.
And what was messed up for us is that we watched these out of order. So this was the second episode that we saw, and I'm like, wow, after this first episode, like, let's just browse and see what else is there. And we're like, oh wow, this is really nice, and this is happy and awesome. And then we watched Archangel, and I'm like, ooh. And then we watched Crocodile, and I'm like, yo. And then we watched 5 and 6. Episode 5, Metalhead, stars Maxine Peake. This was my least favorite episode.
Yeah, this is just kind of like
this was a waste.
The only thing that I appreciated about the episode is like they had it was in black and white, and they had the 60s horror music in there. It was just a weird choice of music, and I'm like, why are they doing that? They just did it for an aesthetic reason. There really wasn't any reasoning behind it, and the end, it was just there. This was like a filler episode.
Yeah,
and I didn't.
And I could have done without it. It's the shortest episode at about 45
like
minutes, something like that. And I found the ending to be incredibly film school pretentious. I after all that, I found it incredibly like, go screw yourself, man. Like I did not like that ending. And look, I'll admit I have my biases. I'm not a dog fan. You know what those things were. It was a freaking...
Was it a dog or was it like a robot roach?
Yeah, you know what? It did kind of look like a roach. Yeah. I don't like them either.
Yeah, they're terrible also. I didn't. This episode, you could skip it, honestly.
You can skip this episode. It has absolutely. You can just don't even bother. Save yourself the 45 minutes, and go ahead and watch the last episode, Black Museum, which was probably my second favorite episode. What did you think?
Yeah, I like this episode. I actually started it. I didn't finish it the same day that I started. This episode was really good. It had, well, I'm not gonna. This one I don't really want to spoil anything about it.
Yeah,
but it was a good episode. I would say this is probably my second favorite episode too.
It stars Letitia Wright, aka Shuri, in the upcoming Black Panther, and Douglas Hodge as a scumbag,
like Rollo Jenkins.
Yeah, his name was Rollo.
It was like Rollo something's Black Museum. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy any of this. When they first showed the museum, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, here's Rollo Jenkins Black Museum, and then here's this white guy that opens the door. Like, wait a minute.
That was the first twist. I'm like, okay, what are we about to get into? And then when he opened the door, I'm like, oh, I really ain't gonna like this.
The thing about this episode is it has a lot of callbacks to and Easter eggs referencing previous episodes of Black Mirror, even from not just from this season but from previous seasons. And the way the story is set up, it's Shuri comes in and she's talking to Rollo Jenkins, whatever his name is. And she's like, oh, well, let me look at some of this stuff in this museum. And he's going around showing her and telling her stories about certain items in the museum. And there are 3 short stories that she tells, or that he tells her. And they're all really, really interesting. The first story was actually adapted from a short story that Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller wrote, which I thought was rather interesting.
It's twisted.
Yeah, it's very twisted. But they're all very, very good. And and the overall story between Shuri and Rollo has a very, very satisfying resolution.
Now, this is not, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but the second story, would you?
The monkey story?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no. I was sitting there with my wife and I told her that right to her face. No.
I literally, as soon as he said, this is such and such, I was like, no.
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And then the neighbor, yo, guess what? If I did do it, guess what you doing? You watching.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that.
No, heck no.
No.
Heck no, man. Mm-mm. But yeah, it was a great like twisted way to end this season of Black Mirror.
So what would your rankings as far as, I think I have mine. Mine would be 4, 6, 1.
I know.
It's like 4, 3, 2. Oh, I don't know. 4, 6, and 1.
Right.
Other 3, whatever.
USS Callister is tops for me, followed by Black Museum, then probably Hang the DJ, then Archangel. I really like Archangel. Those two are the ones that kind of flip-flop for me. 5 and 6 are Crocodile and Metalhead. Crocodile just because, like you said, it's just mean. And Metalhead just because Metalhead felt like an incomplete.
Yeah, it was only, there should have been more.
There should have been more because they set up a world that is interesting, but they don't flesh it out. Right. Just incomplete.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right. Anyway, that's our thoughts on Black Mirror season 4. Thank you all for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.